Okay. Hi, I'm Sarah here with an awesome guest today, Miss Jordyn Small.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm
you're
good.
Thanks for coming. Now, Jordyn is a sophomore at Donovan Catholic, but she's not like a typical sophomore worried about Instagram likes and the newest iPhone. No, she cares about giving back to her community and making the world a better place. She's actually a member of Students Against Destructive Decisions at Donovan Catholic. And when they were discussing what they should do for the holiday season, Jordyn let her group know about a community that she saw needed some extra love. So tell us about how you came up with the idea to start fundraising for the Children's Hospital of Pennsylvania.
So in 2017, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. And because of that diagnosis, I had 3 surgeries and 15 months of chemotherapy. And during my time there, I noticed that it's very different for the different demographic regarding ages. So you have the children and the babies running around, kind of not really understanding what's going on. And then you have the teenagers who are fully aware of what's being put into their bodies and everything, sitting there with headphones in and kind of just trying to isolate what's around them. But then during the holidays, you notice that the teens aren't really validated at all. They were when gifts are given, younger children usually got elaborate gifts and gifts that definitely appealed to their age group. But with teenagers, it was not very age appropriate, and there was definitely a lack. There was definitely a lack of gifts for teenagers. So when we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do, I said this would be perfect because these kids understand what they're going through and they know what's happening to them, but they need the validation or somebody to just say hey, we get what you're going through, so we want to do something special for you. And I experienced that myself, so I thought it was the perfect thing to do.
Yeah, no doubt. And I heard that about 80 kids go to the chemotherapy unit per day. So your original goal was $800. That's a $10 gift card per child who visited the unit that day for their appointment. But you didn't just meet your goal, you exceeded it. Do you know what you raised to date?
Well, for our first round of bringing things, because I plan to do this all year, for our first delivery, we raised in gift cards alone and the bags themselves, probably about $10,000.
Wow. That is amazing.
Thank
and
you.
So did you do your first delivery over the holidays?
Yes, we did it on the day before Christmas Eve.
And how did that feel?
It was unlike anything else. They were so appreciative, and just being able to see the smile and the nurses' faces and the child life specialist who I had met with and told her I was coming, they definitely saw the concern that I saw, and they're just so happy that we paid attention to it.
And I heard you don't just give gift cards, you give something special in each of the bags too.
Yes.
Tell us about what's inside.
So I obviously wanted to be gift cards so that the children could pick what they wanted and that they didn't have to feel like they weren't getting what they needed. But I also wanted to include some things that I thought that would help them in their time at CHOP. So I included a lip balm because chemo tends to dry out your lips, a pair of fuzzy socks because the temperature in the hospital is always crazy, a stress ball just because you're going through a lot, so it can come in handy, I feel like, a deck of cards because sometimes you're there for 8 or 10 hours and you have to do something. You can't just sit there on your phone the whole time because sometimes it'll make you sick. And then we also included these little rocks that have the word hope on them. Just that's a form of inspiration.
That is so thoughtful. You really put time and consideration into it.
Thank you.
And when is your next delivery?
I actually have an MRI next week.
Okay.
So I plan to order I plan to deliver just individual gift cards, and then we'll do the bags around the holidays as something special.
That's awesome. Well, I'm praying for your MRI. Everything
Thank
goes
you.
good. But tell us how we can donate or help lend our services. What should we do if we want to donate?
So what a lot of people have been doing is emailing my mom in regards to how they want to do it, and she's kind of been handling the finances for this whole thing. And I can give you her email.
Yeah,
if you'd
please.
Like. It's cjcjsm6@gmail.com. And she'll
say it one more time.
cjcjsm6@gmail.com. And she'll kind of like tell you how to do it.
Okay, so we just email Mrs. Small.
Yes.
And that's how you can donate. Thank you so much, Jordyn, for coming in today.
Thank you again for having me.
Yeah, and thank you for everything that you're doing for the children.
Thank you.
That's B985.